Hello! Wow, I burped right when I started recording. Hey, it's aleckermit. Welcome to my Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Reverse Dungeon Order. Now, what that means is, I'm going to be playing through all the major dungeons of the game. That is, the dungeons that give you either a spiritual stone or a medallion. I'll be beating all of those dungeons in reverse order. So we'll be starting off with the Spirit Temple, then moving on to the Shadow Temple, then moving on to the Water Temple, then the Fire Temple, Forest Temple, Jabu Jabu, Dodongo's Cavern, then Deku Tree, before heading off to beat the game at Ganon's Castle. Oh, mouthful. So yeah, I've set 3 major rules for this playthrough to keep it challenging and interesting. Rule number 1, I must enter and beat the dungeons in reverse order. So basically what that means is I have to beat water before I ever enter fire. I have to beat fire before I ever enter forest, etc., etc. And that just keeps me from, getting useful items early on and making this too easy. So no Dodongo's Cavern bombs. In fact, bombs are going to be one of the last things we get in this run. Rule number 2, no sub-dungeons. No entering sub-dungeons whatsoever. And the 4 sub-dungeons in Ocarina of Time are Bottom of the Well, the Ice Cavern, Gerudo Training Ground, and Gerudo's Fortress. So those will not be entered under any circumstances during this playthrough. And rule number 3, Bottle Adventure and Reverse Bottle Adventure are not allowed. And if you don't know what those are, they're basically memory hacking glitches that allow you to get items in your inventory without ever getting them from their original location in the game, and it's just not suited for this playthrough in my opinion, so we won't be doing any of that. And I guess an invisible rule 4 would be no game shark, no action replay, no cartridge tilting, crooked cartridge, whatever you want to call it. None of that stuff. So yeah, that is the basic premise of this playthrough. It's going to be super fun. You're going to see a lot of glitches and tricks that you probably wouldn't see in a conventional playthrough or speedrun. This won't be a speedrun, but it will be a quick playthrough. I like to think of myself as pretty good at this game. I've played it way too much. But I have a hankering to play through all the dungeons again, so I decided to pick up this playthrough. And you will see skilled play, but if a mistake happens, I'm not going to, restart. There's going to be mistakes in here, but I'll try to edit things if major mistakes happen, just for your viewing pleasure, so you don't have to rewatch too much. So yeah, what's next? Let's see. My voice. If you notice, I am a little bit more nasally than usual. I am getting over a slight cold, and I think definitely by next part of this playthrough it should be gone. If you hear a fizzing, that's my Alka-Seltzer drink, so I'm keeping myself hydrated. It'll definitely be gone by next episode. I'm getting better. So yeah, we're about to kick it off here. Before we head to the Spirit Temple, our first dungeon of this playthrough, we do have to run some errands. The first 2 episodes of this playthrough will be a bit of errand running, because there's just things we have to get before we set off. Don't worry, it's not going to be boring. It's pretty cool. You'll see. So yeah, we're about to get started right here. So, start of a new quest. If you're wondering about my route, I did route this out before this playthrough. I've played through the entire thing already, so I know it works, and there won't be many hang-ups or confusion or anything like that. It's going to be pretty smooth and optimized. So yeah, right now we are going for the sword, as well as picking up some rupees in order to buy the shield. And this is pretty much your basic rupee route for a speed run these days of Ocarina of Time. It's just really quick, pretty easy. and you get everything you need. Alright, so just equipping the sword here. Can't use it if you don't equip it. Now I'm sure everyone knows about this 5 rupees there. And of course the 5 rupees behind the house. Those poor 5 rupees up there near that girl on that platform that you have to take that walkway to, no one ever gets that anymore. It's so obsolete. I remember going up there the first time I played through the game though. I think I had to like reset actually a couple times just to get the total 40 rupees because I was like, there's not enough in the whole forest. Like there's not 40 rupees here. I have to keep like resetting and respawning rupees. So yeah, sword and shield got, which is all we need to leave the forest, which we are about to do, using a very nifty little trick found by Pokey Pummel, or Pokey, or the Pokey as you might know him other places. And it's a very nifty trick. Basically what we're doing here is just hitting the wall, getting recoil, and pressing A at a very precise moment in order to talk to the dude and get ISG at the same time. If you're wondering what ISG is, that is the infinite sword glitch. So it basically gives you recoil to push through his body, and then the infinite sword glitch keeps you on the other side instead of popping you back out. The infinite sword glitch has some weird properties such as keeping you from falling off of ledges, as well as infinitely attacking with your sword, and just keeping you from being pushed through barriers and such like that. So yeah, I'll try to explain tricks the best I can, but if you want really in-depth explanations, not my terrible explanations, head over to zeldaspeedruns.com. Click on the Ocarina of Time section, and that pretty much covers almost every trick you might have a question about, and probably every trick that's in this run will be on that page. So yeah, we just got the ocarina, the fairy ocarina. Fun little fact for you, we will not be getting the Ocarina of Time at any point in this playthrough. Alright, so like I said, we've got to run a few errands before we head off to the Spirit Temple. Right now we are going to head to the market and get a couple things done there. I don't want to get ahead of myself or anything, because I don't want to like tell you everything that's about to happen before it happens, so yeah. But we do need Zelda's lullaby, I'll tell you that, so it's needed in a couple of dungeons and stuff like that. Yeah. What would we do without Mr. Owl? He's so helpful. Okay, so right here, the back walking. It is much faster than walking or rolling forward. It's just a very constant, fast way to move, and it's just very basic, and you want to use it for crossing the field and long distances if you can, just because it saves a lot of time. Like, I'm not even sure if you can get into the castle before nighttime if you don't backwalk. So right there, just getting 40 rupees from the chains. We need a little bit of spending money for the next episode of this playthrough. And we need some gold sculptulas as well, or sculptulas, or however you want to pronounce it. We need 10 of those to get the big wallet, which you'll see why we need that a little later on. The adult wallet is what it's called. I just give things kind of stupid names. Stupid guano walking. So you notice Melon is no longer at the market. It's better to talk to her here because the time is passing during this whole part of like talking to Melon near the castle. It just saves time. If you talk to her in the market, like, time of day is just standing still, so you're gonna have to wait at Talon and wait for the cuckoo to hatch. Yeah, a little bit of slice to the belly. That's the only way to get her to talk. No. I'm mashing B through most of these text boxes, so a lot of times I can accidentally press one too late and he'll slash. So we've got the weird egg. It is very weird. It's got, like, I don't know, like a little nest attached to the bottom of it floating. Don't know how that works, but... So here's our second gold sculptula. Very easy one right from the tree. And I tried to pick locations for gold sculptulas that were kind of on the way and, you know, very convenient. So, Talon's still sleeping. So we're gonna move this block, get that prepared. And the camera does a wonderful job, as usual. Now, actually, the camera in this game is still pretty top-notch. I mean, compared to like Super Mario 64, it's amazing. But it does get stuck behind things occasionally. So here comes probably one of the earliest found sequence breaks in the entire game. Very simple premise here. You just push the block to the edge without pushing it down, and voila, you have enough distance and height to jump slash right to the hole. And if you get kicked out, it's funny, they kind of actually put the blocks in proper order. Like it's almost as if you did it properly once you get kicked out. Which I just did. I just got kicked out by the stupid guard. And yeah, he's a pain in the butt right there. You'll see I do the exact same thing this time, but magically I get past. They're very random and very cheap. I always thought that fountain that we just passed kind of looks like the Predator from, you know, Alien vs. Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and stuff. He looks a lot like that. If you take a closer look sometime, I think you'll agree. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be in actuality, though. Unfortunately, this bit takes a while, but it's a pretty cool cutscene. None of the cutscenes in this game are like, oh, they're so stupid, I'm sick of watching this. They're really cool. I love the camera angles they work with, and the cutscenes are amazing. Especially the Deku Tree cutscene with the creation of the world. That one's really awesome. We won't be seeing that cutscene, or will we? No, I think we will. Yeah, Yeah, we will be watching that cutscene, sorry. But that's going to be like one of the last things in the entire playthrough, is watching that cutscene. So yeah, we had to lie about having the spiritual stone of the forest. We do not have it, but you have to say yes or she will not progress through this cutscene. Oh, by the way, something I did forget to mention. If you're wondering what system I'm playing on, what version of the game I'm playing on, this is the original Nintendo 64 version, the version 1.0. The gold collector's edition cartridge. So this is the absolute original version of the game. Red blood, Islamic fire temple music, and all that. And definitely pay attention to Ganondorf's hair growth as we go through time. He goes from a very spiky look to go into a full-blown mullet in the future. We won't see Ganondorf again for quite a while. We'll see him as we enter the as we get the Master Sword, but after that I don't think we'll be seeing him for a good bit in cutscene or real game. You'll notice a lot of like ironic text in this playthrough just because we're doing stuff so out of order. There will be a lot of lying done by the game. Alright, so we got a note that we are not going to use, and time to learn Zelda's Lullaby. Little known fact, you can actually skip this cutscene and get Zelda's Lullaby, but we don't have any way of doing that with our current inventory. She plays very lovely finger music, I have to say. And there is our first song of the game. We won't be learning too many, I think either 5, yeah, I think 5 songs total throughout this playthrough. Alright, so we are not going to be heading towards Kakariko and Death Mountain. Instead, when I come back in the next episode, we will be heading to Lake Hylia to finish up a few errands. So yeah, stay tuned for the next episode. It's going to be a blast, and after that we will head to the Spirit Temple.